Hello and welcome to my second video log. In this short 4 to 6 minute video, I will be describing my digital identity and my behaviors associated with it. To start, there are many ways to digitally identify ourselves. Social media, smartphones, and video game consoles are a few examples. I'm not as involved with social media as the rest of my generation is. In the real world, when I plan for an event with my friends for a weekend, I inform everyone exactly what is going on when I have everyone together. I prefer this method because they hear it firsthand rather than potentially not noticing it on social media. On the other hand, Facebook does help me to get the word out because there is a feature to create an event and invite my friends to it. Another helpful piece of technology that I use is, of course, my phone. It's extremely easy to call someone and have a conversation with them. This is no different than if I was having a conversation with them in person. My tone, approach, and courtesy is no different over the phone than it is in real life. Adding on, my digital identity is extremely similar to my real world self. This is simply because I don't utilize the digital world as much as everyone else does. Even though I don't use the digital world as much as everyone else, it has significantly shaped one of my dimensions of my identity. This involves the culture around the world. I'm in the Air Force. Therefore, I have quite a few friends on Facebook whom I've met through my military career. I only stay in contact with a handful, but I can still see how everyone's everyday life is going. Not everyone I met is from New Hampshire or New England in general. I can see how many people in the South as well as the West Coast live like. Their photos, posts, and the way that they interact with their Facebook friends help me to understand their way of living. I'm aware of this, and I don't even communicate with these people anymore. I utilize my digital identity more for gathering information rather than communicating with people. When it comes to communication, I typically send a text or a short phone call to someone. This is probably about as far as I will go. I believe it is more appropriate to see eye to eye with someone when it comes to having a conversation rather than using a piece of plastic to get my message across. There's so much more to communication than just speaking. I personally favor using body language to get my points across. In a way, it helps me to direct my thoughts and I'm able to have my speech flow a lot more fluently. Adding on, I can use certain facial expressions to either agree or disagree with the person I'm communicating with. This helps me to engage with the person as it sends a clear signal that I either agree or disagree with them. You can really do this or use body language with someone over the phone because it just doesn't work that way. I believe those who consistently use their cell phones as a way of communication are going to have problems communicating with people in real life. This is what I'm trying to avoid, hence why I prefer to speak with people in person. The final point that I'd like to bring up is how my digital identity affects my sense of who I am as a person. This is an interesting point to consider. I believe me refraining from using my digital identity has helped me significantly with communication with those around me. To provide an example, almost every single weekend, my friends and I try to do something fun. This ranges from going out to bars or maybe staying inside and watching a movie. This weekend we plan on going to an escape room event in Manchester, and the irony of all of this is I'm typically the one who plans the events. I'm the one who rounds everyone up and gives each of my friends a detailed plan of what is going to happen. Sometimes my plans don't go accordingly. However, I believe me not using social media as much as everyone else has significantly helped me with planning my thoughts and communicating with one another. This is simply because I have practiced speaking, which sounds like an odd trait to have because one would think most, if not everyone, knows how to talk. I just know how to plan my words and what to say in certain scenarios more than the next guy. This is not to say that I'm better than anyone else, as everyone has a reason as to why they use social media. I just think that it would behoove people to put the phone down more.